Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? How's things? I'm just finishing off my glass of not apple juice at all. It's pineapple juice. It's not even pineapple juice actually. It's pineapple squash because pineapple juice is expensive. Still not bad though, even for the lack of ice, because I've got to make some. Libby just got a follow there. X-Plane Pilot something something something. Thank you very much for the follow, even though I didn't catch all of your name. Alright. Yes, I do remember you, Foxtrot Kilo Hotel. Who we got in here tonight then? So, Hoo-Ha123, you sound new. Welcome aboard. KD Bryson. This jam though, yeah, it's a good tune, that one. Gentile 212, Kaboom Kid Angus, Carthorn, Magister Ogamesh, Pazza, Sharp, Bloody Pleasant, God Atom, Foxtrot Killer Hotel obviously already as well, Worker, Superboy 306, Slim Jim Kid, Pratt PT6, this is indeed using the latest update, yep. And Django, of course. Welcome aboard, everybody. Sure there's more to follow, but for now, you're the early birds. I don't have any worms for you, but I do have this. It's the PMDG DC-6. This is the DC-6 C or A, or whichever it is, I forget which. The cargo one, you know, the one with the big doors on the side and the big old cargo bay for shoving boxes in. In the Northern Air Cargo livery, it's the only one I've got. So, yeah. And we're in Alaska, where the weather right now here is, sort of weirdly good. I need to double check my weather's working properly. Fucking hell. Weather? No, we appear to just be in this one glorious hole of weather in a sea of complete overcast. That's hilarious. Okay, fair enough. Seriously? Environment, weather, read right now. Yeah, no, apparently that's, yeah, cool, fine, I suppose. Right. What the, someone's fucking scratched the paintwork on the nose, what's that about? Huh. Deliveries available for this thing are okay. I'm not as good as others, I've got to be honest. I'm not. It's just someone made some fucking grey blobs on the nose in MS Paint. It's just, nah. Anyway, So we're in Alaska, as the title of the stream would suggest. And we got some free scenery right now for wherever the fuck this is. Talkeetna. I don't know. That's where we are right now. What's this say? McKinley Flight Tours, Glacier Landings. Okay, awesome. Freeware scenery. This pretty nice though. Pretty fucking nice. I forget who made it. I'm sorry. It's on the X-Plane.org forums as usual. We're starting off here. We are going to somewhere called Seward. We're going to fly over the top of Anchorage, and then we're going to go to Seward. So if I bring up the old, you know, flashy overlay thing here, and I will endeavour not to forget to bring it back. I'm sorry, I sometimes do that. We're starting up here at Talkeetna, and we're going down to Seward, and over the top of Anchorage in the middle there, and this is where we are in the world in general. So yeah. We're going to be flying into Seward, as I said, which is on the coast down here, and I have actually double-checked that all the scenery works this time, so no worries there, but the approach into Seward is fucking crazy pants. Crazy, silly, weird, bizarro approach, which, you know, and I mean crazy, silly pants in the sense that if I get it wrong, we may end up dead. Kind of a silly approach. And I don't think the weather's particularly good there either, so, This will be an interesting one for sure. It involves flying Dam Buster style through a mountain pass until we eventually see the runway in front of us, and then kind of doing a circling approach onto it. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll put it that way. The whole route is about, yeah, it's not very long at all. It's like 134 miles according to this. We will not be going up very high as a result at all. So yeah, it should be interesting. The we have an RNAV GPS approach, which sort of terminates with a kind of circling approach that goes through these mountains, as you can see here. It's pretty crazy stuff. So yeah, looking forward to it. Could be a giggle. And then after that, who knows? I might fly it somewhere else. I've also got some American Truck Simulator hopefully lined up this evening, as well as maybe some Dirt Rally, because I got that on the sale recently. I kind of wish I hadn't, because I so can't afford to buy games right now, but I've been being nagged by friends lately who've been playing a lot of it to get Dirt Rally, because apparently it's fucking amazing. And I do have a decent set of pedals and a steering wheel and stuff, so figured why not. So anyway, yeah, let's get on with it. Welcome to the flight deck. My performance now is nowhere shit as it was earlier. That's interesting. Huh. I've been having some weird performance issues with X-Plane lately. It's been kind of getting on my nerves. And there you go, I'll get you back in the fucking cockpit. Then I said, didn't I? I said, I'll try not to forget to bring you guys back to the cockpit view. And what did I do? Immediately forgot to bring you guys back to the cockpit view. What a pleb, I know. So anyway, this is the updated version of the DC-6. PMDG released as Dr. Nerdrace says, Dirt Rally is apparently great. We'll find out later ourselves, hopefully, if we've got time. Yeah, PMDG released a new update for this thing. I had a look at the changelog. I did a little quick, a couple of circuits in this thing earlier, just to see how it is. You know, credit where it's due, they seem to have fixed pretty much every complaint I had with this aircraft. Literally just fucking everything. They've fixed it. It's done. It's you know... I could bring up the changelog for you if you're really interested, but yeah, they basically just fucking fixed everything that I had an issue with this plane, and that's incredible. So yeah, GG. Within a week of release as well. I mean, just well done, well done. I think you know, to be honest with you, at this point, I'm probably. I never quite thought I'd say it, but I think I'm officially part of the PMDG fan club now, because I'm stupidly impressed with that, actually. That's like IXEG levels of customer support. So, well done. Yes, Connie Hype as well. Connie Hype. Hype! Yes, A2A announced at Flight Simcom today that they are going to... they are not going to be making, but they are most of the way through finished making a Lockheed Constellation for Prepared and FSX. And that's going to be fucking amazing, because I love A2A's planes, especially I love their Strata Cruiser, and this is going to be their next, after that 8 years ago, or however long it was, they're now making another Captain of the Ship add-on, which is going to be the Lockheed Constellation, which is a plane I just fucking love in general. I think it's awesome. I saw one flying at Duxford a couple of years ago. Such a cool aircraft. Really, really, really fascinating. Weird looking, but also cool looking. Just, yeah, really, really great aircraft, and A2A are fucking making one, and I'm just so damn excited. So, because you guys know I love prop airliners, so, yeah. Anyway. Right. So. Has X-Plane ever crashed on stream? Oh, plenty of times. Right. Oh, yeah. Rage has just linked the changelog. Excellent stuff. Miss Copilot's like, not a real Connie. Why? Leave it alone. It's not. I don't understand. Because it's not a super Connie? I don't care. Connie's a Connie. It's, you know, who the fuck else is making vintage prop liners right now? PMDG have made this one. You can pretty much guarantee they're not going to make another one like this in at least fucking 10 years. So I'm not going to complain. I'm going to get what I'm given and be happy that it's there to begin with, because everybody else, literally like 80% of the fucking flight sim user base, is complaining that it's not a 777. So, I mean, part of the reason I'm flying this tonight is because, one, the new update came out, and 2, because I've seen lots of comments lately along the lines of, who the hell wants to fly a DC-6 anyway, PMDG? Why didn't you make a 777 for X-Plane or something? And I'm just like, actually, hang on. I would like to fly a DC-6, thank you very much. In fact, I would rather fly a DC-6 than a 777. So fuck you. So we're flying the DC-6. Alright. Let's get rid of all this junk outside. Bye-bye, junk. Front cabin. Oh, we've already closed that up. Very nice. Cargo holds, cargo doors, cargo entrance, blah, 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 blah. It's all being closed up. It's all getting shoved away. Let's have a look at this. Fuel, I will set 50%. We'll probably not need it, though. And cargo, well, let's see. I guess the lower can stay empty, honestly. I mean, we'll put like 1,000 pounds of cargo in there or something if you like, but... Main cargo hold. I don't know what a typical sort of cargo haul for one of these things would be, to be honest with you. It looks like it has a maximum of 23,000 pounds. Considering we've got fairly short runways to deal with, let's not go overboard with this. Let's say 9,000 plus the 1,000 in the lower hold. That seems probably reasonable to me. Hit the save button, which I think I've not been doing before, but I think the save button actually like properly loads it, because as you saw, the plane sort of jumped slightly there. So, oh god, yeah. I mean, like if you can get both, but absolutely. To be honest with you, if you've got to pick one, make it the A2A Connie, because A2A just, you know, it's A2A. The plane is going to be awesome, but in addition to that, they're going to throw in all their captain of the ship stuff, which is just really cool for the immersion stuff. So you know, right. Okay. So, luckily this thing's not terribly difficult to get started. One of the cool things they did is they now made it so that you can move the props without having to put the ignition to both, which means that you can actually start the engines a lot more realistically now by waiting to count the number of blades and then putting the ignition on and everything else. So that's pretty cool. So let's get started here. Ground power, battery and ground power on, normal, inverters, seatbelt. Seatbelt? What? This is a cargo haul. We don't need seatbelt signs or emergency exit lights or no smoking signs. What am I doing? Beacon, nav lights. We don't even need a cabin heater, really, do we? Probably not. Let's see.
Monkeys to fly better than that.
Let's turn you boys on. Doodly doo 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 doo. Yeah, there we go. And you. Fantastic. Okay, so turn on the fuel levers before I forget to and wonder why my engines aren't starting. Get rid of the gus lock. Lovely jubbly. I bet their Connie sound pack will be better than the DC-6s if their texture is anything to judge by. Oh, obviously, yeah, definitely. This has 3D sounds now, by the way, in case that wasn't you didn't know. With the update, they added 3D sounds for this thing. It's not the most amazing sounds in the entire world, but they are louder. If you know the exterior sounds bleed in if you have the windows open, and I'll do that once we start up the engine so you can see the difference. There's also a kind of Doppler effect outside, and the engine sort of changing a little bit in pitch and tone as you scroll around the aircraft and stuff like that. So it's actual 3D sound now, which is really nice. Again, I'm not going to pretend that they're the best sounds in the world, but prop engine sounds are notoriously fucking difficult to get right in a sim. I can't think of any sim that's truly got it really, really, really good. Even A2A stuff on the exterior views sounds a bit rubbish, to be honest with you. Closest I've seen is some of the sound packs that people have made for DCS with like the Mustang and stuff like that. That's honestly the closest I've seen to like actual real life, because piston engines in real life sound incredible when they're flying past and overhead you and stuff like that. It's a really difficult sound to kind of reproduce in the sim anyway, so that's not that big a deal. At least it just now sounds, you know, a $70 add-on basically. Okay. So, let me just go over to the GPS here before we get everything started up. I'm going to put a very basic plan in here. Flight plan. How can we clear this? I don't want this old plan in here anymore. Me no wanty. How do I just delete everything in the flight plan? Clear? Yes, clear. Yes, clear. Yes, clear. Yes. Guess that's one way to do it. All right. It's my birthday Thursday. England play Wales at 2 p.m. and you're at work. Oh, bad luck, mate. I haven't actually watched the England game today. I'm slightly salty about the fact that the England football team are on the telly, but the rugby team are not on the telly. In spite of the fact that the England rugby team today actually kicked Australia in the pants for only probably the 4th time on their home turf in history. And our rugby team in the minute kicks ass and it's awesome, and yet they're not on the telly. Like, they're not on regular terrestrial television. That really ticks me off, so, you know. Here's the thing, right? And I'm going to go off on a bit of a ramble here. What I don't fucking understand, right, is how, you know, like every other country in the world, right, their #1 most popular sport generally tends to be one they're good at, right? So in Germany, football is insanely popular, and Germany are really good at football, so that's okay. In Italy, they love football. They're really good at football. Brazil, they love football. They're really good at football. Spain, they love football. They're also very, very good at football, as it turns out. Australia, they're crap at football. Well, that doesn't matter because their favourite sport is rugby and cricket, by kind of a split between the two, and they're great at both of them. So there you go. America has done a really smart thing, very clever thing. They've made up a whole bunch of their own sports. Okay, so they don't have to be good at any of the other ones. Whereas England, our #1 most popular sport is football, and our national team has not won the World Cup in about 50 years. In fact, exactly 50 years ago, they won the World Cup once, and never before and never since. We are so shit at it. We are so completely shit at football, and yet it's the most popular fucking sport in this country. I know I enjoy a bit of footy more as much as the next guy, but still, I kind of have to look back, and it does baffle me slightly. But never mind. So there you go. Right. Anyway, so the first waypoint here, I guess, will be our will be where we're starting from, basically. Is there really any point in putting that in there? Probably not. Let's go. Actually, yes, there is, because we need to kind of follow an airway here. So, right. Enter. No, cursor. Like this. Okay. You know what? Fuck this. I'm getting the 2D one open. It's much easier. Right. P. Where's P? There you are. P-A. What is this? P-A-T-K. Yeah, Patax, as in the curry. Right. Okay. Gotcha. P-A-T-K. Come on. Ah, there you are. Talkeetna. Alright, the next one is the Big Lake VOR, which is next to a lake that's not actually that big, if I'm honest, so that's kind of ironic, but Big Lake, which is BGQ. I hate the Garmin so much. Have I ever said this before? I think I probably fucking have. I'm not a big fan of the Garmin GPS. Not because it's programmed badly or anything, it's just because I don't think I like the real-life Garmin GPS either. There we go. Enter. Followed by Anchorage, which is Ted. Oh, tea. Really? Tino in Italy. Oh, fair enough. Go for a cup of tea right now, actually. Right. Enter. Accept. And then a waypoint called Broil. That's where the start of the GPS approach is, so... Broil. answers. Enter. Okay, job's done. Light plan can go off. Can go to this screen. How high do I want to climb on this one? I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. Not very high at all is kind of the answer. Well, it's so silly, isn't it? It's so silly, like everything about it. Like our football team is like famous for basically just being rubbish. And what still makes me laugh is the fact that we have in this country a sort of weird football rivalry with Germany, but it's this kind of very funny rivalry that doesn't seem to go both ways, because we get all hyped up about England versus Germany, right? But the Germans don't actually give a shit about England versus Germany. They're more interested in beating the Dutch. So while everybody in England still remembers us beating them 5-1 donkeys years ago, I think most Germans have sort of completely forgotten about that, and they're like, what? 5-1? Oh, that game was that time ago, really? You still remember that? Oh, whatever. Good for you guys. You played well. It was good. To which the England fans are all just like, oh, because they were expecting a fight, and they're just sort of like, oh, well, thanks, I think. This is awkward. So yeah. There's nothing funnier than a rivalry where the other side refuses to take you seriously. It's it's too funny. Right, let me have menu. Data fields on. Map track up. Yes. There we go. Alright, now you're all set up and good to go, so let's just fucking start the engines and go. So, engine selected number 3. Start. Low boost pumps, we can watch the engines go. Ignition. Fuel. Crack the throttle. Well, don't forget to do that. There you go. Engine is good. And that's, you know, aside from the simplification of these switches here, that's way better than before, because it's actually more realistic than before, because we actually started cranking the engines. We didn't really count the number of blades, but, you know, we pretended that the co-pilot was doing that for us. And then we started it. Now, you'll have to let me know about volume levels, because this plane is... yeah, I normally have my engine sounds and stuff turned all the way down, because just so I can hear VATSIM and pilot edge controllers. Unfortunately, this means it's quite quiet on the stream sometimes, so you'll have to let me know if you want me to turn it up. Alright, so we'll go to number 4. Same procedure as earlier. 3, 6, 9-ish. Ignition. Fuel. Hopefully we didn't take too long with that. No, we didn't. Excellent. Perfect. Alright. Oh, and just, as I said I would. Open the window. There you go. Now significantly louder and noisier with the window open. Want me to turn it up? Okay, we can do that. That is a thing that can be done. Hopefully that's a bit better. There you go. Yeah, I know about that, Pat. I didn't get to see that either, and neither did my dad at the time. He told me about it afterwards, because he actually turned off about halfway through when we were 2-0 down. He was just like, I don't want to watch any more of this. And then who'd have thunk it, we came back. Alright. And we'll go over to 1. Same procedure. Start it. 8, 6, 9, and oh boy, a bit late on this one. Ignition. Fuel. Got that just in the nick of time, I think. Okay, and the last one, number 2. But not least. Crank it. Fuel. 6, 9. Ignition, thank you. Fuel. X-Plane's click and draggy switches trolling us as ever. Alright. Goody gumdrops. Go over to battery, get rid of the ground cart generators. Don't think we need these anymore. Get a little bit of lighting in here. I've mostly discovered where all the brightness knobs are, so I don't need to use the preset anymore.
You can teach
Right.
monkeys to fly better than that.
The engineer is seat, so he's got someone to sit down. Pretty much ready to taxi. Oh, they also got rid of the weird sound pop thing when you switch views as well. Look, watch this. No annoying sound pop anymore. You see? They did everything. They even put some animations on this whiskey compass here. Which is hilarious because I'm pretty sure Rush made a little joke about how it'd be nice if they added animations for that in his video, and lo and behold, what did they do in the update? They added fucking animations for it. So, yeah, credit where it's due. Let's not chop the props off of those. Not a lot of room here for us, is there, really? Okay. We will not be using the AFE, obviously, if that wasn't clear by this point, but, okay, yeah, this all looks good. Got to top up that beforehand, but it looks like we're okay. Yeah, this is all good. Right, so we are sure as shit going to want flaps 20 today. Normally I feel like it's almost optional, but today definitely. The question is, what's the local weather like? Just put on the parking brake. Okay, apparently there's just no wind whatsoever, so that's always nice. I got an email from the xplane.org store today saying about the release of the update for the 727, but it's not actually released yet, as far as I can tell. So, unless it has been, in which case we'll have to fly that next. But I don't think it has been. Has it? I don't know. Maybe I should check. Yeah, okay. Let me just get the altimeter first. 29083. Because it linked to a thread on the forums where it said that he was going to release it after Flight SimCon, so yeah. Alright, so let's see. There aren't any departure procedures for Talkeetna, so we're basically going to almost do a VFR departure, I suppose. We're going to take off, and then I guess we could try and make straight out. And again, I don't really know how high we need to be going right now. What's our elevation at the moment? We're like, really 400 feet ish, as little as that.
You can teach monkeys to fly better than that.
Yeah, elevation is like 400 feet. By the looks of things. Yeah, 365 feet as it turns out. Okay, fair enough. The RNAV GPS approach into Seward requires us to be at 6,700 or above at Saki. At Saki. That's the Sakiest waypoint I've ever seen. Ho ho ho. So I guess we're going to be going at least that high. Yeah, same. Once it's at 6,700 at Royal as well, so I guess that's what we're going to go for, really. Or maybe round it up to 7,000, perhaps. We're going south and slightly east, so I think we can get up to 7,000 and descend from that in time, hopefully. So, right. Shall I give you guys a bit of a preview of the fact that the sounds are now 3D? I've learned, by the way, you can power back this plane by engaging the reversers. The only problem is you stand a very good chance of cooking your engines ever so slightly on the ground, I've noticed, if you do that. I had some issues with oil temperature come takeoff when I powered back at San Francisco earlier today. Made life kind of interesting. But anyways, you'll... also my wheels are going on the grass, very good. I don't think this taxiway is technically big enough for us right now, so... but yeah, you'll notice the sounds are getting quieter as we move away. And also lower in pitch. Not by very much, but you know. Yeah, this is a comically small taxiway for a DC-6. So let's see, if that is the on center line, where does that relate me in the cockpit? Almost, yeah, okay. Just to the right of that little knobbly bit there, there you go. That's center line for us, basically. You've got to love the comical head shake effect on whenever I hit the brakes. Any other liveries for the old girl? Not for the cargo version that I have at the minute. I think there's some more on the website. I didn't really download very many cargo liveries though, unfortunately. This is the only one I've got. There should be others, though. I think there's at least one for the guys who still operate this thing for real up in Alaska, so... Oh my word. Okay. We're going to want the water pumps for this one, that's for damn sure. Alright, brakes are in, pumps are coming on, RPMs are set to full. Cowl flaps can go to takeoff. And we're rolling. Rotate 100 knots. Rotate. Short field takeoffs for the win. And up we go. Gear can come up. Flaps will retract once we're at a safe altitude. Give a bit of right aileron. Seems to be quite a bit of torque on this thing as of the update. More than before, at least. Okay, Mito power. Okay, climbing. We're stable. We're above all the obstacles. I'm going to put the flaps away. Make our turn to the left. Try and get ourselves on course. Yeah, it has a tendency to kind of float right up into the air, and that's the same with the Stratocruiser actually. They just sort of take off by themselves almost. With that amount of flap down, you know, and that amount of thrust, it's not surprising, I guess. We're not that heavily loaded down either, you've got to bear that in mind. I was a bit conservative with the cargo load back there just because I wasn't certain about runway length and stuff, so... Alright, CDI can go to GPS. I think if I was just flying along merrily by myself right now... Oh god, I forgot to switch these boys off. We'll still have enough for the end. I was just flying this by myself, I'd probably just hand fly it, but so I can look at chat and stuff. I'm going to try and engage the autopilot on this one, I think. Alright, this is looking good. Gyro pilot. Engage. There we are. Localize that. Beautiful. Now we're on the GPS track, so. Right. BGQ's up in front, followed by Ted, followed by Broil, then we begin the arrival. All there is to it, really. Like I said, we're not going very far. We'll climb up to 6,700 or 7,000, whatever. And then level off. Whatever it takes to be clear of those mountains, really. We've got a bunch of mountains in front of us on our way there. They're all up at like 5,000. Yeah, 4,800 I think is the highest point in front of us, so we should be good. Also heading into some clouds up there by the looks of things. Ever been to a live game of footy? Oh, years ago I went to see the Cobblers.
Boom, Sir Daisy.
Rob, thank you for the host, buddy.
To make you weep.
There we go. And you'll notice as I pan around the aircraft, I hope you can hear it anyway, the sounds do actually change now. A bit. I still feel like the sounds overall could do with a bit of a bass boost. Like, I really still don't. I lack that feeling when I'm sat in the flight deck of this thing that those fucking engines are rumbling and vibrating away to the point where the fillings are going to fall out of my teeth. Kind of. I don't get that feeling from it. That's something I could probably do myself. Honestly, I could just, track down these sound files and muck about with them in Audacity a bit. That wouldn't be an issue. Because I feel like they could do with a bit more boom. So you can really hear them droning away, you know. I would also like some wing views if at all possible, but you're not all too sure why PMDG made it. Because it's a well, here's the thing, I think what they've said, and what I would generally agree with, is that it's a fairly simple plane in terms of systems. It lacks any glass cockpit nonsense, which at the time they started making this thing, X-Plane didn't have a native GPS type system to build on, so they really had nothing to work with there. And it was, it's a fairly straightforward, simple plane that everybody on the PMDG development team is fairly, sort of excited about and enthusiastic about in real life. They've said that they love these old radial-engined airliners, and I can't blame them because so do I. And so I think that was a natural fit for their project. They wanted to do a project that would help them learn X-Plane and the way it works, and they decided to do a relatively straightforward, simple aircraft that they were all very passionate about. So, and then that's why they did a DC-6. So it makes perfect sense to me. Of course, it doesn't make them as much money as a modern plane, but like I said, trying to make, like, say, a 787 or something for X-Plane, like, good fucking luck. They'd be halfway done by now if they were doing that. Landing lights. Well, I don't know whether or not you'd leave these on or off below 10,000 feet. They are retractable, so maybe you would want to get them in, I suppose. I don't know. I don't think a lot of the normal rules apply. This thing doesn't even have strobes after all, so. Oh, don't forget to get the fuel tanks. No, well, there's no fuel in the alternates today, so will be on the main fuel tanks all the way there. Previous problem I had was that I switched back to the alternate tanks during the cruise for sort of trimming and balance's sake, and then forgot to switch back to the mains or open the cross feeds in time when they ran out. Oh my word, we've gone way higher than we meant to. We're at 9,000 now. I don't think this thing would climb quite as fast as that, but alright. Back down, plane, back down, I'm afraid. Straight into all that cloud, I know. Not gonna lie, this is a slightly scary approach. I need to put it into the GPS itself actually as well. Alright, how are the temperatures doing? You're all good. In fact, I'm going to just go ahead and close up the cowl flaps entirely to avoid any shock cooling. You guys are good. Oil temperature is fine. Carb temperature is quite low. That normally wouldn't be a problem, but we're about to hit a very large blob of moisture, so let's bring you up, shall we? What do you think of A2A making the Connie? I'm over the moon, mate. Fucking over the fucking moon. Like, in ways that I cannot really adequately describe. Alright. Cloud City, here we come. Oh, I might be able to just sneak under it, actually. This looks like it might be okay. Good. Well, if ever there was a film worthy of knowing all the script of. Fantastic movie, Battle of Britain, just so good. Okay, cylinder temps are good. Bridge 2000 are the good one, and as is The Great Escape. There are other certain era of films, aren't they? Like those three in particular that I can think of that are sort of, they're quite early war films, but at the same time they're not the typical Hollywood fare. They're all in their own ways quite grim, anti-war almost films. Like The Great Escape, Battle of Britain, and A Bridge Too Far. None of those three films have a particularly happy ending. So. That's kind of why I love them, honestly. You remember them for their jolly theme tunes and stuff, don't you, really? But they actually were not very jolly films at all. Yeah, I know about the sound glitch. It's nothing I can do about it. It's YouTube's fault. The original video on my hard drive, as rendered, by Sony Vegas does not contain that glitch. It was a pure product of YouTube's re-encoding once it was uploaded. I'm afraid there's nothing I can do about that. Occasionally that can also happen if there's a hitch with my internet during the uploading process, but either way it's nothing. It's completely beyond my control, I'm afraid. And altitude hold. You could switch to auto lean if you really wanted to. I'm not going to bother though. No real need. Again, yeah, Zulu again. That one has kind of a bittersweet ending, really. What the? In the words of Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's no moon. I don't know what that is, but it's somehow below us. Yeah, interesting. Oh, X-Plane. Ugh. Anyone see that new Rex Cloudmaster, whatever the fuck it was, thing? Cloudmaster, that's the DC-6. I'm getting things confused here. But you see that new? Anyone see that new Rex Cloud thingy? And apparently, Active Sky 16 is a thing that will be coming as well at some point. Hopefully for X-Plane 2, that'd be pretty goddamn fantastic, wouldn't it? But yeah. Inbound to BGQ. All right, let me load in this procedure here. Select approach. GPS 3.6. Yeah, that's going to be the one. What? There is no 3.6 at Seward. What's going on? Maybe it's been out of date. I don't know. Either the chart is or this is. Clear. Procedures. Select approach. Did I? Hang on a minute. Clear. No. Go away. Yeah, PA. That's definitely in there as our last. No. No, it isn't. Okay, right. I see the problem. Royal and then PAWD. Bloody common. I'll figure this out eventually, and we'll be fine. It's just so awkward to use. I mean, to be fair, the KLN90B is pretty awkward too, but at least you can do SIDS and stars properly in it. Alright, PAWD. Good. Awesome. Alright, so now I can go procedures, select approach. That's what we wanted. So, I don't know what the winds are like down there. 170 with 8 knots, so I guess we could do 13. You don't want GPS 16, so that's a tiny, tiny GA Cessna runway. So 113. Enter. Embroil as the initial approach fix. Load. Okay, and then we can scroll down here and we can activate that when we need to. Basically, once we're more or less once we're inbound broil, or about to get to it, that's when I think we'll do it. Okay, so we're gonna go right over the top of Anchorage Airport, actually. Fury was alright, actually. I enjoyed it. It was a bit, yeah, towards the end it did get a little bit ridiculous. But, yeah. It was alright in its own way. I watched The Hateful Eight the other day, by the way. It was great. I'm a bit of a Tarantino fanboy, but it was fucking awesome. I got my dad, for his birthday, an entire, like, Blu-ray box set of The Pacific, actually, as well. So I'll be re-watching that fairly soon, I imagine. Nuclear Zaku, welcome aboard. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Saving Private Ryan again.
You can teach monkeys.
Well, my
to fly
granddad,
better than
on
that.
his side, his dad, was in, not actually in the Pacific, but he was in the Far East as well, so, you know, similar theatre and everything, so from that perspective especially, I think he'll really appreciate it. Just gonna open those cowl flaps a smidge. Oh, there's Anchorage. I think that's Iced 8383's Anchorage. He streams on Twitch, by the way. I haven't watched one of his streams in ages, and the last time I did, I lurked in the background and did not engage in chat. But he makes pretty good airports for X-Plane. Oh, don't be all like that. Personal greeting from Dave himself. I'm not the Queen of England, mate. I'm just some Burke with a very marked up microphone.
You can teach monkeys to fly better than that.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more P3D in the future, virtual, Mungo even, well, whatever, you know, same person. Fucking, I don't know what I'm saying right now. So that Rex thing was pretty cool to see. I am going to embark on a bit of an odyssey with the bloody 777. I've decided. I'm going to finish up the rest of the 767. I'll start again. I'm going to finish up the rest of the 767 schedule, and then once that's done, I am going to start doing the 777 stuff. I've done most of the 767. I can't pronounce 767 tonight, apparently. I've done most of the schedule for it. I need to do the return trip from Rome, and after that, it's the flight to Philadelphia, if it's still on the schedule. I didn't check, actually. It might have gone now. And then it's that one to the Bahamas, and then that's it, other than the Victorville retirement flight. So I'm nearly done with the 767 for BAV, I'm afraid to say. And after that, it'll be the 777, for better or worse. And of course, you've got the FS Labs A320 coming out soon. There's the Connie on its way as well. So yeah, I need to tighten up the screws in my P3D installation and get another look at it. Well, hello, Anchorage. How you doing? Ignore the gigantic moon in the background. Yep, that's iced Anchorage. It has his signature sexy ground markings. I do like those. And the ortho imagery as well. We are wobbling about a bit, aren't we? Thankfully, the rubber dog shit in the back is not going to care about turbulence, so... Ooh, we're going quite speedy, aren't we, actually? Compared to how this thing normally goes, mind you. We're usually cruising a bit higher than this, so... Alright. That's the last turn in towards Broil. This approach is going to be fun, guys. Right, at least that's my hope. It is going to be some dam busters shit, trust me. Not even that, it's going to be more like 633 Squadron shenanigans flying through, like, fjords and stuff. Would you fly the DC-6 on an FS economy? Well, I don't have FS economy and I've never tried it before, although I've been thinking about it, and yeah, I totally would use this for FS economy, I suppose, if I were doing FS economy. Did we lose against Russia in the football? I didn't watch the game, so if we fucking lost against Russia, then I stand by all of my earlier points. We drew 1-1. Sounds like a fucking riveting game. You've been on it for 3 years. It does look really tempting. It also looks like it's going to destroy all of my free time. That's the only thing. I mean, you saw what I was like when I tried to get my first 100 hours in Bavin. I did almost nothing else for like 3 weeks. I just became a flight sim hermit. Disney morning. Yeah, it's legit, yes, I have been informed of this. It's just, I don't think normally you can't see it right now because the clouds are in the way, but there was a giant moon, but it was like right down on the ground almost because of the weird, like, field of view fading thing in the X-plane weather. You'd have to see it to really understand it. It looked bizarre as fuck. It really, really was not normal. Okay. Whoa. That's just officially over halfway. Quite a bit over halfway, actually. Oh no, not quite, not quite. Yeah, well, yeah, we are over halfway. We're going to be flying through all these mountains and stuff here. It's going to be fun. I'm a little worried right now. We're just completely blinded by these clouds. According to the VFR charts, there are no mountains in our way that are higher than 7,000 feet. So in theory, we should be okay. It might get a little bit hairy though if we start seeing rocks and stuff go past the window. Kind of like that. Some good old-fashioned Alaskan weather for us here, apparently, today. Yeah, I can see the Germans winning the Euro. It's, you know, like betting on Michael Schumacher before he put himself into a coma, really. Oh, don't talk to me about Hearts of Iron 4. I so want it, but I look at the price tag and I just think I can't do that right now. Especially after Like, I bought this new mic, I bought a new monitor, I've got a new internet connection, and on top of that, council tax went up. So, yeah. It's been a very hurty month for my wallet. And there's Hearts of Iron 4, Doom, and Total Warhammer, and Battlefleet Gothic all staring at me on my Steam wishlist like, you know you want to. I'm like, I can't. Hello, mountains. There's some gorgeous ortho photo for this airport we're flying into, by the way. It only covers the immediate surroundings of the airport, but it looks incredible. I'm gonna go ahead and activate this and see what happens. Oopsie daisy. Entirely sure how to activate it now I think about it. Do we just go direct to it? Yeah, looks like you do. I think. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so 6,700 at Broil. Jeez, look at those cloud layers and stuff, though. That's when X-Plane weather does look fucking great. This right now. Damn, dudes. That looks so cool. Got like a ceiling of the stuff above us and then a floor of it below us. It's awesome. And then a big wall of it coming in the front there. Alright. So we need to drop 300 feet here. Whoa. Sweet mother of Christ. That was a bit much. That's better. Oh dear. Plane commands are all out. I wonder if that'll actually let me update it today. It totally glitched out last time, and even though it said it'd been updated successfully, oh, Rage has got it, nice. Even though it said it had been updated successfully, it lied, and it didn't, because every time someone kept checking, it was still said flight factor 767, for some irritating reason. So, okay, broil at 6,700, stay at 6,700 until Saki, at which point we descend 6,200, 5,900, 4,300. Basically, we want to get down to 4,300 and then fly on in. Hopefully, by that point, we should be able to see the actual field, basically, and then we'll take it visual from there. IMC in a plane from the 40s, what could possibly go wrong? At least we have this. This is why I kind of said that this approach would potentially kill us if I do it wrong. Hello, Mountaintop! How you doing? See ya! See you next time! Oh, Jesus. I'm going to majorly bring back the power as well, because I want to kind of slow down as we reach the top of our drop here. quite significantly. I'm going to bring the props forward as well, because God knows if it's model, but in theory, higher RPMs will give you a kind of an air braking effect in a way when descending. I'm going to operate under the assumption that that is modelled to some extent, so. Well, according to every chart I have at my disposal, we should not hit a peak. Okay, we're now turning towards Saki. You wouldn't know we were turning unless you looked at the artificial horizon, of course. Am I flying? Is my flying that bad that you instantly accuse me of flying drunk? I don't know whether or not to feel offended. At least the carb heat's doing okay. What you don't want is a fucking carb ice detected message while we're in this delicate portion of the flight. Still not bleeding back much speed, are we? The magic number is about 170 odd knots, because that's the point where we can put what? That's the point where we can put flaps and gear out, and that dramatically, obviously, slows us down. So that's what we're aiming for. Oh my god, look at that. And that. Holy shit. Okay. Come fly in Alaska, folks. It puts hair on the peaches. That's such an incredible view, that is, though. Jesus, look at that. Just a sea of cloud and then the peaks poking up through the top of it. That's... damn, man. That's awesome. I can't look at it too much because I need to pay attention to what the plane's doing, but fucking hell. That is so cool. Damn. X-plane weather's not perfect, but I tell you what. It does know how to sometimes do something incredible like that. Anyway. Oh, you guys know I can flub my words perfectly well when sober. I don't need drinks to help me with that. Ironically, in fact, I think my diction actually improves after a few drinks, so... Alright, we're inbound Saki, and then that's when we start descending again. There's a few constraints along the way. I don't know if we'll quite meet them, but we'll give it a go. Alright, we've slowed down quite nicely now, which is good. Keeping an eye on the cylinder head temps, they are also fine. Gonna close up the cowl flaps entirely. And looking at this, I'm going to want to descend at a rate of about between 500 and 1,000 feet per minute. Call it just over 500 feet per minute. And if we're too high, like I said, we can just circle. Which is what we might end up doing anyway. Which is what we would have had to do if we had to land in the opposite direction. So I actually had to look up what a circling approach actually was before this stream. So, but it's actually kind of an interesting concept if you're into the whole geeky flight sim thing. Look at that. Alaska just being Alaska. Look at that. Keep adjusting the pitch knob because it naturally wants to sort of nose up a bit as we come in. And hello, airfield. Beautiful. We're really not descending as quickly as we needed to, so we're probably going to have to circle a bit, yep. Because the thing is, we're probably going to be too fast by the time we arrive at the kind of final point there, so... Well, let's see, at Utani we need to be at 5,900, so... actually, no, we're not doing too bad, because we're going to sort of wobble off to the right here a bit, and then back to the left, so... We did briefly see the field there, we've lost it again now, but that's why we're on the instrument approach, so it's okay. Right, we obviously don't want to descend too quickly, because that will involve us flying straight into a mountain. That's why it's kind of important to be on profile with this one. That's why the constraints on the chart say 6,200 above, by 5,900 above, not below, under any circumstances, because there be mountains in the way. Okay, Brint. We're going to be at 4,300 at Brint. Not going to quite make that, I don't think.
You can teach monkeys to fly better than that.
Oh no, we might just make that. Okay, looking good. And after Brent, we'll just carry on descending. And in front of us should be the field. I can't see shit though, but like I said, circling approach time pretty much. Yep, hello. There it is. I want to land on this one in this direction here, so... basically, flag. We need to take out the automatics and do this ourselves. So what I'm going to do, I think, is cross over to the right here. And then we'll circle out over the lake here, and or the coast here, and then come back around and in like that, I guess. Trying to lose as much height as we can at the same time. This is the dam busters bit. Quick external shots for those of you who give a damn. This is not very textbook, but we're kind of VFR at this point, so screw it. We're going to want to take this all the way to 30 degrees. I wish I had track IR at this point, really, because there's mountains on the other side as well that we naturally do not want to run into. Alright, looking good. No, we don't want to climb. Keep that fucking rate of climb and descent under control, matey. Okay, 30 degree bank to the left. I'm having to work to keep it at this angle, by the way, now, as opposed to previously. They did do some work on the old banking aerodynamics and things to do with the dihedral. I'm not someone who knows enough about it to test it properly. That's Aerosim's job. But I'm happy with it at the moment. Okay. Oh boy, this is... Oh god, this is going to be tough. Alright. So I need to get fully configured to land prior to making this turn in front of me here. How are my cylinder head temperatures doing? Getting a little on the chilly side. Oh well. Not much I can do about that. Alright. Laps can go down to 30 now, I believe, according to the little speed chart thingy. Gear can also come down. Gonna loop around and try and land on this runway here, the diagonal one. That's the general idea. The update fixed things? It fixed many things. They even fixed the thing where the BMEP gauges were doing silly dances while the engine was cold and dark, and they also fixed the glitch with the carburetor bursting into flames on the ground all by itself. So yeah. Right. Laps full.
You can teach monkeys to fly better than that.
Water pumps. This is the bit where you wish you had smart co-pilot. Right. Okay, luckily now we're going so goddamn slow that the plane is basically completely okay with us doing a tight turn here. Not as if we're doing this in a 737. So. And again, I don't have fucking track IR right now, which is making this bloody awkward. Can't fucking see properly the runway I'm supposed to be landing on here. Okay, there it is. Put the water pumps on because I am anticipating needing to apply a max reverse on this one, so... Alright. Remember how I said this wasn't going to be textbook? Well. Here we fucking go! Yeah, if I'd had track IR, I could have made a better job of that, but sadly I do not at this juncture in time. So I might just manage it though. It's not going to be a pretty landing. I am fired apparently, oh well. You're not dead, are you? At least you're alive to fire me in the first place. Okay, that's good. Welcome to Seward, Alaska. And you know what? Fuck you guys, it's a cargo flight. Got no passengers to worry about in here. I'm happy with that landing, all things considered. This thing slows down really goddamn quick actually when you apply reverse, doesn't it? Fucking hell. Didn't even actually probably need to put those pumps on because I didn't apply even close to maximum reverse there. Hey, check it out, there's a big old ship. Nice. That is all that cargo, which we're bringing over here, is probably going to go on that ship once we've unloaded it, which is pretty cool, I think. Nice one. Right, where would you now? Where would you park a DC-6 at this airport? 'Tis the question. What I would do is bring it in like this and turn it around, regardless of what these little ground markings say. So I think we're going to do that. I don't think I'd even do that. I think I'd just park it parallel like this, but whatever. Because otherwise, you've got to power back with the fucking engines, and that's not good for them, so I'll take that. Oh no! I forgot the flaps! Oh dear. It's making noises. I don't know if they're not coming in though, are they? No. Oh well. Fucking hell, they might need some work done on them anyway after that landing, to be honest. But fucking hell, look at that view.
You can teach monkeys to fly better than that.
On point with the follower notification there. As if I didn't put pitot heater on through that entire thing. Apparently it didn't make a difference, so. Right. Wheel well lines. Don't seem to be doing much. I haven't bothered trying to turn on that, the you know, the Consuela button. I don't think I'm going to try it either. Right. Turn it off completely. Jobs are good.
You can teach.
Hey shit, look, it actually put stuff in the back. I thought it was just going to be empty the whole way, but it actually put stuff in there because I loaded the plane with stuff. Also, there's a dude sat. Oh, that'll be the flight engineer. So that's where they move him when he's not in the cockpit. He's on the crapper in the back. Fair enough. In fact, no, I think he actually is, because if you go through here, I think there's a door behind all. There is, yeah, look. There you go. Right, yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't think it would actually shove cargo in the back, but apparently it does. Anyway, yeah. Mountains, Gandalf. Mountains. Fucking Christ, those flaps are on half annoying me. Oh, you know what? I need to I need to fix this. Just, fuck's sake. Okay, mechanics say they're done with the flaps now. We can start up the engine and get them put back in. Honest. Is there an alternate flaps mechanism actually in here? Actually, now I think about it, I don't think so. I don't see one. Yeah, doesn't appear to be. All right. Right, could you throttle it slightly? 3, 6, 9. There you go. Et voila. Another flight? Maybe. I don't know. Where do you want to go? You know, there's other places like Juneau, but they're very fucking far away. That's the problem. Alaska is huge. I think this just in. And this is a very slow plane, so, you know. Yeah. That's what was my original plan, was actually just go Anchorage, Juneau for this evening, and then I actually looked up on Skyvector how far that is, and I was like, oh my god. And then I decided, well, maybe Vancouver to Juneau, maybe that'll be a bit quicker. No, not even slightly. So, yeah. It was kind of a bit of a like, holy shit, I didn't realize Alaska was this humongous, and it turns out it is. So this was one flight I was able to find that had great scenery at both ends, and wasn't too far. So fucking looks like that's a new. It's only doing that engine as well. Is it because it's because the ignition's still on? There you go. The reason previously you couldn't see the blades turning with the ignition on was because, as Kyle put it, because of the way X-Plane models life. Basically, the props windmill in the wind, unless you put in some sort of lock in there. And they put in a couple, I think, but one of them was actually the ignition being on or whatever. And since they've now gotten rid of that for realism's sake, but unfortunately, as I think you may have seen just then, as well, because I left the ignition on, the prop was moving. So, well, that doesn't make any sense. Now I think about it, that shouldn't have made it. Whatever, never mind. Anyway, they've obviously changed something, because I've never noticed the props windmilling before the update. So. I have to admit that's always confused me ever so slightly, the way the props windmill in X-Plane like that. I don't get it. I really don't. Damn though! Come on, look at that! Look at that! Like at least one of these views is going to end up being the thumbnail. Now I want orthophoto for like all of Alaska, because this is incredible. But that was a really cool approach, flying in that cloud, and then basically just trusting the chart and our GPS to get us down out of the muck, and then having to do that crazy sort of racetrack approach in, which was like not even remotely kind of, like I said, by the book as far as circling approaches go. I mean, what we really should have done was, because we came out like looking at the field sort of from this angle here, which was really awkward to begin with, but what we probably should have done was just gone straight, followed this runway out here, then turned, and then kind of just come in properly in a kind of pattern entry kind of a thing for this runway here. But you know, the big mountain in the way and everything, and I just fucking decided, you know what, we're gonna go VFR. Fly a visual approach. And we did it. It was wonky as shit, like I said, because I couldn't look out the window quickly, lacking track IR, which meant that we ended up doing something that went like round and then like to here, and then I turned very tightly, and then ended up going kind of like perpendicular, and then did a very tight turn like right over all this here, and then landed practically diagonally on the fucking runway. So yeah. What approach category is DC-6? I think it's probably a B rather than a C, if I had to guess. Although I don't know. Yeah, I'd say it's probably a Bravo, right? It's not that big. You know, this plane would be great for? Air Hauler 2. If it supported X-Plane. But I guess no. I guess that's not going to happen. Huh. Never mind. There's always FS Economy. I mean, Juno has equally gorgeous scenery, by the way. It's just, because it's Mr. X's Juno, so you know it's going to be good. But the problem is it's quite a bit of a trek away, and I don't know if you guys have got the patience. So, if I look at Sky Vector right now, to go from Stewart to Juno, is 468 miles as the crow flies. However, we need a route, and there aren't any handily available ones from Sky Vector either, so that's even more annoying. I'd have to kind of make one up myself, and it would all be just a massive arse. We'd be here for like half an hour just doing the planning in Sky Vector, so FS Economy is basically Euro Truck for planes. Kinda, as far as I can tell, honestly, yeah. Same goes for Air Hauler, really, but FS Economy is passengers as well as cargo, so. Yeah, Air Hauler 2 is in sort of open beta now, if you like, but it's not going to support X-Plane 10, unfortunately. I wonder. What I want for this thing as well. I want the passenger version as well, but also I want a Sorcerer Dave's air cargo or Sorcerer Dave's World Cargo livery for this thing. Be pretty cool. They released a paint kit with the update as well, so that's like totally a thing that I'm gonna get working on. So local map. Let's have a look at how that batshit approach in the end. You know what? That doesn't even look that bad compared to what I thought it looked like. It was basically this turn here. I thought we'd have to take it way wider than we actually did. I forgot that we were in a DC-6 doing 120 knots, which meant that we could basically turn on a dime. So I completely overcompensated here, as you can see, then straightened out, and then, you know, this happened. But, you know, we in the cargo are safe, so it's all good. The rest of it was textbook, but we were using the GPS, so that's practically cheating. But I don't know. Like I've said before, part of me feels like Slant Alpha is for chumps. So if you've got a better option available to you, in this case a GPS, then just fucking use it. Considering you're one guy flying a plane that's normally crewed by 3 people, yeah. Same goes for the 727, honestly, when the Drax update for that comes out. I will be flying that thing off the FMC like a champion. Because, yeah, I'm just one dude. I am not a single-handed crew of 3. So many potential thumbnails right now for the video on YouTube. Oh. It's a pretty plane though, isn't it, the DC-6? I think it's a looker. Can we get this cargo unloaded now, perhaps? If I go here, I just go 0, 0. Because it's got cargo in the lower hold as well, hasn't it? Yeah, it's got a bit in there. Not much, actually. Does that dynamically change? Ooh, we should find that out. Right, I put 0, 0. And also, like, check how much cargo is in the back of this thing right now. Okay. Not the biggest amount in the world. There's a lot of free space in the back there. Okay. So if we 0, 0, save, empty, and the lower hold is also completely empty. So if we now go completely full, pretty much 2, 3, 608, 5230. Save. Whoa, look at the effect that had on the suspension. Holy shit. And look, the lower hold even is completely full there. Completely full at the front. I'll just go free cam here, it'll be easier. And the main hold is also totally chocker. That's, yeah. Yeah, credit where it's handled with care, really. Wooden pigeon. Yeah, you don't put a crate labeled "handle with care" on my planes, mate. If you know what's good for you. But there you go. That's pretty cool. So it dynamically loads an amount of cargo in the back. I know this is like visual bullshit that people don't necessarily care about.
Monkeys to fly better than that.
I can already hear Rush in my ears going, "Shut the fuck up, mate. It's not important. All I care about is flight models, etc., etc." But yeah, no, I think that's kind of cool. But that it dynamically fucking loads the amount of cargo in the back depending on how much you specified in the menu. That's neat. Anyway, and the fact that it clearly has an effect on the weight and the suspension and stuff, like it would in an A2A plane. That's pretty cool. Let me just empty it completely, and you can watch it spring up on its heels. Boing! See? See, that's pretty cool. You know, come on. You got to admit that. So anyway, unless we take the DC-6 somewhere completely different in the world, I think that's us done with it for tonight. Short flight, but a sweet one. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go get a drink, a cup of tea or something maybe, because I feel like we're gonna be going for a while tonight. But yeah, I'll leave that one up to you guys, I suppose. We can carry on and do another flight in the DC-6 if you like, somewhere else. I don't know, or we can load up American Truck Simulator and do some trucking. You do transatlantic flights. Technically, you can. You're not going to see me doing a transatlantic flight in the DC-6 though. No. I don't have LSPDFR installed at the minute. It was a casualty of a purge for disk space a little while ago. Yeah, really, really good update. They've fucking just fixed every problem I had with the damn thing. It's impressive. Like, I looked at the changelog earlier this morning and was just like, my god. Yeah. It gets my thumbs up. I'm going to officially go out there and say that this is more like the $70 price tag that they're charging for it, you know? This is more what I expected. So... Alright, there we go. And just to bookend this for the sake of the VOD on YouTube, I'm going to throw up some music when I can find it. There we go. And for those of you here watching live, I will be back shortly with drinks. Probably some biscuits as well. I don't know. It's like a Saturday night, but I'm not in a beer and alcohol mood. I'm really not. I just want some tea and biscuits. Alright guys, be back in a bit.